Join us on the program, Kelly McMillan from McMillan Firearms Manufacturing and the McMillan Group International. Kelly, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Hi, Cam. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. All right. So gun owners started talking about this story on Friday afternoon based on a post on your Facebook page about I guess a visit you had with one of the Bank of America employees, Ray Fox, who is a business banking senior vice president with Bank of America. This was scheduled, you say, as an account analysis meeting?
That's correct.
Okay. So you basically thought you were going to be going over just the accounts that you've had with Bank of America for how many years?
For 12 years now.
12 years. All right. And then Mr. Fox shows up at your office, and what happened?
Well, to be perfectly clear, there was another Bank of America employee that was there. The reason that I didn't mention his name is because he never said anything.
Okay.
He was our account rep, and that's why he came in. But through the entire, other than "Hello, Kelly, how you doing?" he never said a word. So I wanted this account to be completely accurate, and that's why I didn't mention him. But basically, they had told me that they were going to come in, talk about our lines of credit, talk about our accounts. They do that every year at this time, and this was what I thought was going to be just another, how can we help you? What can we do, to make things better for you? How can we be a better bank? Because that has been the normal relationship that we've had for 12 years.
So you'd had a good relationship with Bank of America then?
Absolutely. Never had any problems.
Okay. And what'd you get instead?
Well, Mr. Fox started to talk to me about my business, and it was obvious to me that he didn't know our business very well. I had never met him before. He had never called on me. I'm not really sure why he showed up, but he actually was handling the meeting. And as he started to describe how my business had changed and how we had used to be a manufacturer of parts and we're getting more into manufacturing firearms, I interrupted him and asked him if I could save him some time and breath, and asked him, I said, "You're going to tell me that you don't want my business because we're in the firearms business?" And he said, "That's correct." And it kind of like it was a kick in the stomach. I had really no idea it was coming, never planned on finding a new bank. And when he made that statement, he said, Bank of America has to be diligent and assess the risk of doing business with a firearms manufacturer.
Really?
And I said, so you mean this is a politically motivated decision? And he said, yes, it is.
Wow.
And I was shocked. I told him, he said, and we will give you 6 months to find another bank and close your accounts. I said, well, I won't need 6 months. I'm sure it won't take that long. I'll find a bank right away that will recognize my Second Amendment rights and support the industry that I'm in. And I said, and as far as I'm concerned, this meeting's over because there isn't anything more to say. And he said, okay, and they got up and left.
All right. Now, we contacted Bank of America for a response. We basically got the response that has been posted to their website. And let me read that statement now. They say, we want to let you know that we hear your comments and questions regarding one of our customers. While we cannot discuss the details of any individual client we work with, we can assure you that the allegations being made here are completely false. Bank of America does not have a policy that prohibits us from banking clients in this industry. In fact, we have numerous longstanding customers in the industry. We're also extremely proud of our support of the U.S. military and reject any assertion to the contrary. We count as clients many companies that provide for our nation's defense. We employ thousands of veterans, guardsmen, and reservists and plan to increase our hiring this year. So, I mean, in essence, Mr. McMillan, Bank of America just, they say they flatly deny your statement. What's your response to that?
Well, I have a couple of statements. One is that I never made a public statement about what their corporate policy is. I have no idea what their policy is.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Fox did not tell me that this was a policy decision. All he told me was that Bank of America did not want my business because I was in the firearms industry. Now, he didn't say that this is specifically because of something you've done or some incident that he referenced. It was a blanket statement, and that's all he said. Now, had I been smarter and could relive this incident, I would ask him first, is this a corporate policy? And I would ask him, did you make this decision, or was this decision made higher up the chain? And if so, who could I talk to? Because right now they're using a corporate veil to claim that what I claimed happened in my office didn't happen.
Right.
I would love for Mr. Fox to come on the radio and tell his version of it. Frankly, though, the two people that were there from Bank of America, I suspect, would be hard-pressed to tell the same version that I've told, because it might cost them their job.
Well, certainly, gun owners are reacting to this, and as several writers pointed out, Bank of America has come under criticism in years past for similar efforts. In fact, I think it was back in 2010 that they had to post a statement on their website again, trying to clarify that they don't have any anti-gun positions. At least that's what they're saying. And as you say, you've never said anything about this being an industry-wide decision, but you still would like to know, or at least you were still told, that the reason why Bank of America was not going to be doing business with your companies anymore was because you had gone from, in essence, being a manufacturer of accessories to being more of a firearms manufacturer.
Which was incorrect anyway. We opened that particular account at Bank of America in 2008 under the name McMillan Firearms Manufacturing. I don't know how in the world they could possibly look at the account name and not understand what it was that we did.
Yeah. So have you had any luck finding a new bank?
We have been so busy with trying to respond to all of the thousands of people around the country who have taken the time to show support for our Second Amendment rights and let these people know that we really appreciate the fact that they're willing to stand up and fight for the same rights that has allowed me to make a living for the last 40 years and that of 75 of my employees. That is important to me. I want everybody who supports me to know that I personally will respond to their support. I want them to know that I am the one that is spearheading this, because I'm the one that was in the meeting, and I want to make sure that it's not just handled by someone within my company. So that makes it very difficult for my wife and I. My wife was also in the meeting. She's a CPA and our CFO, and she handles all of our banking. And it will be her and I specifically that will be responsible for choosing the new bank, and frankly, we just haven't had a lot of time. I will say to anyone interested that we will post on our Facebook page and on our website which bank we choose when we get the time to really interview and are convinced that a bank is supportive of our Second Amendment rights and wants us to be successful in our industry.
Well, listen, Mr. McMillan, I really do appreciate you coming on the program, sir, and I look forward to talking with you when you get a new bank. Would love to have you back on again.
Well, thanks for having me, Cam. I'll stay in touch and let you know what we find out.